Most people walk past an ATM every single day and have no idea that they could actually own one. I got really curious about this, so I decided to find out for myself. Is this a real side hustle? I took $3,000 of my own money, started an ATM business from scratch, and I tracked every single dollar for 90 days. So we're about to look at the real income report. No fluff, no hype, just the hard numbers.
So let's get right to it. Could you actually own a cash machine? That is the big question, right? In this explainer, we're going to break it all down, the exact startup costs, the real-world profits, and my final verdict on whether this whole thing is actually worth your time and money. Let's jump in.
Okay, first things first, let's talk about how this business actually works. Because, it sounds kind of complicated, but it's way, way simpler than you might think. You don't need banking licenses or anything like that. At its core, it's a really straightforward service business.
Here's the entire business model in a nutshell. Step 1, you buy an ATM and you put it in a spot with lots of foot traffic. Step 2, every time a customer uses it, they pay a surcharge. Let's say it's $3 or $4. That fee goes straight to you. Now, you'll usually give the business owner a small piece of that, maybe 20 or 30%, as a thank you for letting you use their space. The rest, that is all your profit. All right, we have to clear up a huge misconception right now. The cash that you physically put inside the machine, it is not an expense. It's what's called working capital. Think about it. When a customer pulls out $20, that same $20 is electronically sent right back to your bank account almost instantly. Your money is just cycling through the system. You're not spending it. You only make money from the fees.
All right, let's talk money. I'm going to get super specific here because this is where a lot of online advice gets really vague and unhelpful. These are the exact real-world costs it took to get my very first machine up and running.
Okay, so I bought a used machine for $1,800. Pro tip, that is definitely the smart way to start. Installation was $150. Setting up an LLC, which is absolutely critical, and we'll talk more about that later, that cost me $200. Then you've got a small monthly processing fee of about $25, and I loaded it up with $1,000 in cash, and remember, that's just my working capital.
So, when you add up all of the actual costs and that initial cash load, you realistically need about $3,000 in cash ready to go to get your first ATM placed and fully operational.
Now we've reached what is, without a doubt, the most important part of this entire business. Seriously, buying the machine is easy. Finding the right location, that is the one thing that will literally make or break you.
So what makes a location a grand slam? Well, for me, it comes down to a 3-point checklist. First, you need high transaction volume, a place that gets at least 100, maybe 200 customers a week who pay with cash. Second, you want zero nearby competition. You need to be the only game in town. And third, you need a cash-heavy type of business. Think barbershops, nail salons, bars, any place where cash is king.
And my first placement, it was a textbook example, a local barbershop. I mean, it checked all the boxes perfectly. About 200 customers a week, they preferred cash, and there was no other ATM anywhere nearby. We struck a simple deal. The owner gets 25% of every surcharge fee. Perfect.
Okay, this is it, the moment of truth, the part you've been waiting for, the results of my 90-day experiment. How much money did this one little ATM actually make? Let's break it down month by month.
In the first month, the net profit was $171. And if I'm being totally honest, my first reaction was, a little underwhelming. But I knew you got to give it some time. There's going to be a ramp-up period while the regulars get used to the machine being there.
But then, month 2 happened, and things really started to pick up. The profit jumped up to $277. That's a 62% increase. You could feel the momentum building as people started to rely on it.
And by month 3, boom! It hit a net profit of $360. Now we're talking. This is the point where it stopped feeling like an experiment and started feeling like a real, solid, profitable asset.
And you can see the story perfectly on this chart. It's just a beautiful, steady climb. It went from that slow start right up to a really strong finish. And this just proves, look, it's not a get-rich-quick thing, but it shows predictable, compounding growth as that machine gets established in its location.
So, if we added it all up, the total net profit from this one machine over that whole 90-day period was $808, real cash deposited right into my business account.
But here is the number that really gets exciting. If we take the performance from month 3 and project it out for a full year, the return on my initial investment, that $2,000 for the machine and setup, is over 37%.
For a business this passive, that is an incredible ROI.
So after all that, after looking at all the numbers, we're back to the original question. Is the ATM business actually worth it? Here is my 100% honest take based on these real-world results. Here's the truth. One machine will make you a really nice side income. That $360 a month is awesome. But let's be real, it's probably not going to change your life by itself. The real power, the real magic in this business model is all about scaling up.
You have to realize that the ATM business is built to stack. It's just like a vending machine business. The whole model is designed for you to add more and more units. Once one is running smoothly, you add a second one, and suddenly you could be making over $700 a month. You add a third, and now you're potentially clearing over $1,000 a month in almost completely passive income.
And I know what you're thinking. How much time does this actually take? This is the beautiful part, and it's why it's so easy to scale. I spend maybe 3 hours a month on this one machine. That's it. It's just one drive over to check on it and reload it with cash, and I'm done. It is honestly one of the most passive income streams I have ever found.
But listen, before you get all excited and run off to buy your first machine, please hold on. I have one final, absolutely critical piece of advice. Whatever you do, do not skip this step. This is for your own protection.
You absolutely must run this business through an LLC, a limited liability company. I'm serious, this is non-negotiable. If for whatever reason someone claims your machine ate their card or there's some kind of dispute and you don't have an LLC, they can sue you personally. That means they can go after your car, your savings, your house, everything. An LLC builds a legal wall between your business and your personal life. It might cost a few $100 to set up, but the protection it gives you is absolutely priceless.
So there you have it, the complete, no-hype breakdown of an ATM business, all based on 90 days of real data. It's passive, it's definitely scalable, and it has a really strong ROI. The only question left is the one right there on your screen. Is this the right passive business for you and your own financial goals?